I've had breast cancer 3 times. Out of the 3 times, I've had chemo and radiation twice. A grueling, radical treatment of both.
I was diagnosed in January of 2013, and I'm getting a flashback moment already. I've fortunately been a survivor for 5.5 years, but sometimes it does strike you in odd ways. I had had a mammogram done the November before, and they found some suspicious looking places, mostly what they called calcifications, which are just little dark spots in your breast tissue. So beginning of January, I was scheduled to have a biopsy, and this was actually the second time I had been through this. So the first time it was like, oh, I'm good, everything came out clean. So I was optimistic, but yet I had a nagging feeling that this second time the results would not be the same.
But I went to see the breast specialist, and we did some tests, an ultrasound, several tests and an ultrasound, and it came back that, well, you got little specks here and there. We want to be cautious, so we're going to go in and we're going to do a small procedure 2 days out from work, and you'll be fine. As I'm getting ready for this procedure, he had a second thought, and he said, no, you know what, I think we need to probably do an MRI. He said, I'm not comfortable, so let's do an MRI and look at both breasts and let's see what's going on. And as he's talking, I realized this is bigger than I thought, but my mind would not let me wrap around breast cancer those words.
Got a phone call from my doctor's office on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock. When you know your doctor's office doesn't open until 9, 10 o'clock. He says, I want you to go in and see the specialist about the results of your exam. And I went in and I saw the specialist, and he told me he wanted to do do some more exams and do a biopsy. It looked a little strange. They just wanted to extract this little mass that they saw. Then I go into his office, and he says, Mrs. Edwards, you have breast cancer. You have stage 2, and it is an aggressive form of breast cancer. He tells me all of this like in one paragraph, and I'm like in total shock. And his nurse is standing there, and they're looking at me like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm cool. I am so cool, I'm okay. Go to my car. I bawled in my car. It was like to suck up and, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And the only thing I can think of is that I'm married. I have 2 children, 2 small children. I'm never going to see them grow up. I'm not going to see them get married. I'm not going to be a grandmother. All of this just flashed before me, and I was just completely freaked out.
So I got the results from the breast doctor that I did have stage 1 breast cancer, or what at that time they believed was just stage 1 after getting the biopsy and analyzing the size. They didn't believe that there was any lymph node involvement, but they wouldn't know that until they did surgery as well. So after a moment of shock, I was by myself. My husband was at work, but he was anxiously awaiting my phone call. And the first thing I asked the doctor once I got my diagnosis is, if I was your wife, what would you do? And he said basically I would suggest having a double mastectomy because of the type of breast tissue that I had, and I was also showing calcifications on the right side. The initial spot was only on the left side. That with a double mastectomy, my chances with no lymph node engagement would be like 99% that I would not have a reoccurring incident of breast cancer. So those seemed like good odds to me. That was my initial, let's just go with it, but I needed to also take time to process, talk to the husband, sisters, friends and family, and process it.
But I never wrapped my mind around I have breast cancer. I just kept telling myself, I have to go to the hospital, I have to have a double mastectomy, and I'll be back at work soon. I just didn't equate that to breast cancer.
My first breast cancer was in '98, okay? So 8 years later, I think it's 8 years, 2006 is my second cancer, and the third time was 2012.
I think in life, to just be successful and keep yourself moving forward and being happy for anyone, you do have to have that sense of purpose. I think any time that you're going through a health challenge, or any type of challenge, you have to set your goal and say, this is where I want to be in this amount of time, and say, I want to get healthy enough to go back and do X, Y, and Z. At that time, it was funny, my juniors and seniors were sending me messages and saying, are you going to be able to make it to prom? So my job was to get healthy so I could make it to prom.
I don't think anybody has ever said, this exactly caused cancer, and this exactly caused breast cancer. And because our lifestyles have changed, we're eating probably not as healthy as we should be eating. Our food is processed differently, so it's not as organic as they would lead one to believe it is. We eat a lot of fast foods. We don't know what's in some of that. So I would think that probably as early as 2025, especially if there's smoking in the family, if there's a history of any kind of cancer in the family, I think women should be tested earlier. Mammograms should be required at an earlier age and not wait until 40. Self-exam should start when you become a young lady, when you start having your menstrual cycle and your breast starts to form. We should be teaching our girls self-exam. That's really easy.
First time it was on the right side. Second time it was on the left side. Third time it was on the right side, same spot. Well, same area. So, when you get the news the first time, yeah, you're depressed. The third time I got it, I was like, are you kidding me? Who does this? How could that be possible? So your mind is trying to process an awful lot. And you still have to maintain a lifestyle for, at least I felt like I still have to maintain a relationship with my husband. I have to maintain relationship and raise my children along with my husband. I was determined not to let some things go, and one of them was not my family.
I would say for me, one of the healthiest things I did is I talked about it. I didn't try to hide it. I was kind of let anybody and everybody know. It's like, hey, I have breast cancer, this is happening, wish me luck, see you on the other side. If you know anybody in your family that's gone through this, I'd love to use them as a resource, and I've tried to offer myself as a resource to others after my journey as well. I know people have different views on illnesses and sharing stories like that, but I think if you share your story, you're going to find someone else that needs that support. And so that's why I haven't been shy about saying I had breast cancer, I had a double mastectomy, I had reconstruction, all the bells and whistles that go along with that, and this could happen to anybody, but you can be a survivor. You can have new and improved parts, but be the old you and keep going on with your life.
I am one of these people. I would say in a loose term, I'm proud to be a breast cancer survivor, because to me, I see myself as a testament to someone who may not be feeling so well about a new diagnosis. I try to be out there and let people know there are resources. You may get breast cancer at whatever level of breast cancer you receive it at, stage DCIS to stage 4. Whatever you receive it, you can always do something. and I try to encourage others to that. I'm very active, you know, in my community with my neighbors, with my sorority, with my doctors. I do races. I run primarily for health reasons, and just to clear my mind. I've run every Coleman race since 1999.
Some of the outside things that I've done to help support breast cancer awareness is my school, DeKalb School of the Arts, is very big into Zumba and dance fitness, and we're sponsoring our 4th annual breast cancer awareness Zumbathon in a couple of weeks, and we use those proceeds to benefit the Breast Cancer Center at DeKalb Medical Women's Center, which supports families of women or men going through breast cancer. Last May, with my former teacher friend, we participated in the More Than Pink Walk, sponsored by the Susan G. Komen Foundation, which helps the community understand it's more than about women just wearing pink or being associated with pink, but it's about research, family support, community engagement, and continued fundraising to support breast cancer research.
I've done 2 walks. The 3rd one is coming up in end of October. The first walk, when I found out about breast cancer awareness and events to support making people aware of early detection, mammograms, those necessary things. It was fun. My youngest brother came to support me. I had probably 25 people to walk on my team. And I was like a little kid on Christmas morning, the day of. I was real anxious, I was nervous, I didn't know what to expect, but I was also excited because I had all this support. And it told me that people truly loved me and they cared. And they wanted this to go away for other people too.
It's going to be okay. Have faith in yourself, faith in those around you that they'll support you, faith in whatever higher power you have to turn to in the times of challenges. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be okay.
I decided it wasn't going to be me. I decided that I was going to be the voice to make a difference.
I am Desiree Edwards, and I am a survivor.
My name is Margaret, and I'm a survivor.
I'm Susan McCauley, and I'm a breast cancer survivor.
I'm a survivor.